What's going on, guys? Kimchi Cowboy here. Today we're going to be making a video on my 1000 round review of the Staccato P 2011. I figure 1000 rounds, not that much, but it's a very good baseline. So the first things first is, unlike many other polymer handguns, this is full steel or aluminum, depending on which model you get. So it is heavy, but that weight also counts into it shooting a little bit flatter. It's a little bit heavier, so you're not going to get as much flick from the front, and that is definitely something I realized straight away from when I shot it. First 100 rounds I shot, this was completely stock iron sights, nothing done to it, and the last 900 plus rounds have been with the Type 2 RMR up top, Trijicon RMR, and the Surefire X300 UA on here as well. So kind of a cookie cutter build for the Staccatos, but I think it looks great, and aesthetically it's very pleasing. And this red dot is tried and true to be one of the best on the market. Next up is the flared magwell. Flared magwell, good and bad at the same time. Good because it makes reloads incredibly easy. You can just hit it and it'll slide right up in there. That's what she said. The cons of it are the 17 round OEM baseplate mags. It is hard. Sometimes you don't fully get a seat, and since it's so flush, sometimes you don't seat it all the way and it will not seat in and it will just fall out. I've done it a couple times. Joseph has done it 3 times, so that is one bad thing. Also, another thing is when you conceal this magwell, because considering that's mostly what prints is the grip itself, the magwell really prints depending on what you wear. For me, I haven't found it that big of an issue, but definitely have to look in the mirror, see what shirts I wear, and see what works and what not. Of course, people probably aren't looking down at your pelvis, but if you're one of those people that are OCD or you don't want to stand out that much and print that much, flared magwell might be an issue. Speaking of magazines, these magazines are not cheap. They range from $70 to $100 something. So you are paying a hefty price. I paid $300 for 4 magazines. Nowhere like Glock mags, nothing like that. So be prepared. If you are buying a Staccato, to be aware, mags are expensive. As you may notice right here, I have grip tape. The reason being for concealed carry is this grip tape, 1, eats at your shirt, and 2, is really harsh on your stomach. After a while of concealed carrying, it definitely starts to make a little raw patch on your stomach, and that was no fun. But when you're shooting at the range, it's hot out, your hands are sweaty, this grip is fantastic. No issues at all. Your grip just on the handgun is amazing. I forgot to take this off at the range. Didn't really matter, but if you are planning to conceal this handgun, just be aware the grip texture is extremely harsh. But if you're flat ranging it, if you're just shooting at the range, this grip texture is amazing. Safety itself, very easy to manipulate. It's not very sticky at all like my SIG M18, which kind of is a little stickier. The paddle is long. It can act as a gas pedal for when you actually disengage it and your thumb sits on it. So no issue with the safety. Also, same thing, this backstrap safety, not a big deal. I've heard complaints people don't fully engage it, but with my high grip, I'm able to completely depress it, no problems. Next thing is the trigger itself, 3.5 pound trigger. It has a little spring or a screw in here. They say do not adjust it. It comes set from factory, so I haven't touched it. Super crisp. The reset is amazing, and after going back to the SIG M18 and the Glock 19, this trigger is just hands down 100% better. You cannot outshoot this trigger at the moment that I foresee, whereas the Glock or the SIG M18, you can definitely outshoot that trigger. This one here is the bee's knees. Let's talk about slide cuts. Slide cuts aren't super crazy, nothing like that. Not extremely sharp, but they work extremely well. The grip itself fits me lengthwise extremely well. Widthwise, it could be just a smidgen too big. Sometimes from the draw, I realize that I'm not getting a full purchase around. I'm kind of like fingertipping it. So I wouldn't say I have the biggest size, but I also wouldn't say I have the smallest size hands. So that is something to look into, but lengthwise, perfectly fine. Widthwise, depending on how my draw is, it could be just a smidge too wide. So let's talk about tolerances. Super tight tolerances. Construction on this thing is amazing. Probably one of the top tier ones out of the 3 handguns I own. I mean, it should be for the price tag. But with those tolerances also, if you do not keep this thing lubed, it can get sticky. The slide, you can feel it doesn't cycle nearly as quickly, and also it can cause failure to eject, possibly failure to load itself. I had issues with that. I just looped it up per Staccato website recommendations, and it's been flawless ever since. So within the 1,000 rounds of owning it, I have looped it up twice, which is more than my Glock, which I've lubed every 1,000 rounds or whatever. So just know that this is higher maintenance. Just think of it as a sports car or an exotic compared to your Toyota Camry or anything like that. You're gonna have to take care of it a lot more, and I'm assuming that parts will cost a lot more as well, just looking at the magazines itself. Okay, so moving on, reloads are a little bit different. Slide release, I can't reach it with my thumb unless I really over rotate the handgun, which then causes me to have a bad grip. So I have to reload and then use my support thumb, which I'm still getting used to. I'm extremely slow at it. I need more practice. So that is just something to note. Maybe if you have a big bear paws, you'll be able to do the slide release just like this. But for me, when I do a reload, I have to use support hand. Mag release itself, super big button. It's smooth, not textured, but it's very easy to grab, very easy to manipulate and find. The front optic itself, which is fiber optic, great, but it's also extremely sharp cut edges. So every time I reholster, unholster, there is pink holster kydex on here. So it's just cutting up and eating away at my holster. No big deal, just know the front post and everything around here has some pretty sharp cuts to it. Overall though, 1,000 rounds in, and I think the Staccato is an amazing handgun. So far, the people that have shot it, Sean and Joseph, have love it a lot. Joseph mainly uses a Glock 45, loves this thing. Sean, who mainly uses an X Macro, loves this thing. And I think, once again, like I said in the last video, if you are on the fence about buying one and you can, I would definitely get it. Resale value, you can resell these things pretty easily, so I see no flaw. But they definitely live up to the hype. They are definitely a great handgun. I still have a lot of work. I didn't shoot that great last time out with it, but overall, I think for the price tag you pay of this, it is 100% worth it. Aesthetically pleasing, ergonomics on this thing is great, and I think Staccato did a great job with this handgun. I was on the fence about it for quite a while. I had a 45 Springfield operator, and I actually sold it because it didn't really do anything for me, and that's why I was on the fence about Staccato, but I went ahead and bought it, and honestly, I don't think I would ever sell this handgun. It is amazing. Now, it would be definitely interesting to see how their compacts do, and if I can get my hands on one of their competition builds, which is, I think, a 5-inch barrel with a built-in compensator, and then they even have a longer one, just to see how that thing would be. It would be great to get on that. But that's just a quick little brief overview, quick little review of the Staccato. Now, once again, I am just an avid hobbyist of this. I don't competition shoot. I never proclaim or will say I'm the best out there. I just enjoy doing this as a hobby. I like to build out certain things, spec them, kind of like from video games, from growing up doing Call of Duty, Battlefield, all that. And I just really enjoy going out to the range and plinking. It's just a fun hobby for me, and I enjoy going out to the range and plinking. Elevates the range day for sure. It's quite a different handgun in its own. It's definitely in its own ballpark. Want to add though, one thing about this handgun is it definitely makes you think you're a better shooter than you actually are. So the confidence boost you get from this thing is definitely going to be greater. So be aware of that. You still need to get out. You still need to train. But this thing definitely makes you feel like you're a much better shooter. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed that video, please like, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.